Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 5, Term 3, Week 4. Question 1. Mark weighs 80 kilograms. So Mark equals 80 kilograms. John weighs 20% more. Now 20%, let's change the 20% into something that we can work with. So 20% is the same as 20 over 100. So what I did was I changed percentage to fractions. Now to change the fraction, just put the number of percentage, put it divided by 100. Just put it over 100 like this. Now we can look at this and we can cross out the zeros. One from the top, one from the bottom. So that means 2 over 10. And we can simplify that further by dividing the top and bottom by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is 1/5. So that means that John is 1/5 of Mark more than Mark. So that means he's going to be how heavy Mark is, plus 1/5 of what Mark weighs. So what's 1/5 of 80? So you need to find 1/5 of 80 kilograms. Now 1/5 of 80 is just 80 divided by 5. Okay, you're finding 1 out of 5 parts of 80. So that's 80 divided by 5. 80 divided by 5 should be 16. So that's equal to 80 kilograms. So John's going to be 80 kilograms plus another 16 kilograms. So therefore, John is going to weigh 96 kilograms. Now Alan weighs 10% less than John. So Alan's gonna he's gonna weigh whatever John weighs, but 10% less. So take away 10% of the 96. So 10%, let's put into a fraction as well, which is 10 over 100. Now we can cross out the zeros. And that's the 1/10. So we had to find 1/10 of 96. 10% means 1/10 of 96 means times 96. Now 1/10 of a number is just that number divided by 10. So 96, when you divide that by 10, what are you going to get? You're going to get 9.6. Okay, so 96, it has a decimal place right there. Okay, when I divide it by 10, I just move the decimal place to the left one time because 10 has 1 0. So the answer is 9.6. So that means Alan is going to weigh 96 kilograms. Take away 9.6 kilograms and you can get the answer there. Question 2. Tina has $3,200. Anna has 40% less, so we got to find Anna. Anna has 40% less, so that means we got to do $3,200. So Anna has whatever Tina has, but less by 40%. So she's going to take away 40% of 3,200. Now 40%, let's change it into a fraction again. So that will be 40 over 100, which equals, let's cross the zeros out. We got 4 over 10. Let's divide it by 2. You get 2 over 5. So 40% is same as 2/5. So I'm going to rub this out. And say that's, and say that's 2/5 of means times 3,200 over 1. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take 3,200, we divide it by 5, and then we times it by 2. So let's divide it by 5. 32 divided by 5 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Take away remainder of 2, bring the 0 down. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. No remainders. Bring the next one down. 0 divided by 5 is 0. So the answer is 640. So we have to divide this number by 5, and then we go times it by 2. So now that we're done dividing it by 5, 640 is going to multiply with 2. This will be 0, 8, and 12. So 40% of this is going to equal to 1,280. So that means that Anna has, what does she have? She's got 3,220. Take away the 1,280. Okay, so let's do a subtraction here. 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 8 is 2. This becomes a 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. This becomes a 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. You might notice that the way I subtract is a bit strange, but it's just a different method, but it'll give you the same answer. So the answer for Anna is she has $1,920. But we're not interested in what she has, we want to know what Michelle has. Now it says Michelle has 10% more than Anna. Okay. So let's rub this out. I'll read the question again in case anyone's confused. It says Tina has $3,200 and Anna has 40% less than Tina, which we found out that 40% less is just she has $1,920. And now it says Michelle has 10% more than Anna. So we need to find out what Anna has, which is this one, and we're going to add 10% on top of this. So Michelle has whatever Anna has, which is 1,920. Yep. And we're going to add 10% on top of that. So plus with 10% of the 1,920. Now 10%, I'm going to write it in blue, put it here. Okay, don't worry about this one. 10% is just 10 over 100. We can cross out the 0, which is 1 over 10. So 10% is same as 1 over 10. 1/10 of a number. So what's 1/10 of 1,920? 1/10 just means we're dividing the number by 10. So what's 1,920 divided by 10? Cross out the zeros, you get 192. So what Michelle has is, so Michelle has 1,920 plus the 10%, which is 192, and you can work out the answer there. Alright, question 3. There are 440 students in a school. 25% does swimming, 15% does basketball, and 40% does tennis. How many does not do any sport? Okay, so let's add all these up. See how much percentage this totals up to. So 25% plus 15% and plus 40%. So altogether, 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1, 3, 4, and then 8. That means altogether we have 80% of the students doing one of the 3 sports mentioned here: swimming, basketball, and tennis. So that means that 20%, because there's 100%, right, altogether, 80% does sports. That means that 20%, the remaining 20%, do not do sports. So this one is no sports. Now, we're not asked to find the percentage. The question is how many people do not do any sports. We know that 20% is the percentage, but we want to know how much people that actually is. So we need to find 20% of all the students, which is 440 people altogether. Now 20% we can't really work with this, so let's change it into either decimal or fractions. It's easier for us to deal with in fractions because we're not going to use calculators, so let's use fraction, might be easier. So 20% is just 20 over 100. Let's cross out the zeros, which is 2 over 10. 2 over 10, they're both even numbers, so let's divide them both by 2, and you get 1 over 5. So 20% is just 1/5. So what is 1/5 of 440? Now, of means times. 440 is just the whole number, so it's over 1. So multiply this, you get 440. 5 times 1 is just 5. So what's 440 divided by 5? Work it out. 440 divided by 5, do long division, and you will get the answer. Question number 4. In a farm, there are 540 sheep. 25% of all the animals. Oh, sorry. This is 25% of all the animals. How many animals are there on the farm? So, 540 sheep is 25%. Now, what's 25%? Let's work it out as a fraction. 25% is equal to 25 over 100. That's what we do when we change to a fraction. We put it over 100. Now let's simplify this. Divided by 5, and you'll get 5 over 20. Divided by 5 again, and you'll get 1 over 4. So that means this 25% is equal to 1/4, in case you didn't realize that. So this is 1/4, whoops. So when you have what the question says there are 540 sheep, and this is 25%. That means that this is 1/4 of all the animals in the farm. So if 1/4 is equal to 540, how many animals are there altogether? What's 4/4? That's the whole amount. So to get from here to here, we just times it by 4. So multiply that by 4. Get all the animals. Question 5. In a farm, there are 220 cows. This is 40% of all the animals. Okay, let's work out what 40% is. 40% is equal to 40 over 100. Cross out the zeros. That's the same as 4 over 10. Let's simplify that further. Divide top and bottom by 2. You get 2 over 5. So 40% is same as 2/5. So this is 2/5 of all the animals. Alright, imagine if I draw a diagram. Maybe you can see it this way. Okay. So 2/5. So let me just see if I can do 2/5. Okay. Alright. So this is 2/5. 2 out of 5 pieces, right? So it says there are 220 cows, and this amount of cows is 2/5 of all the animals. So this is all the cows. This is 220 animals. Okay. So how much is all the animals altogether? How much is this? So let's take 220 divided by 2, and you will get 110. We divided by 2 because we want to know how much one piece is. So 2 pieces is 220, one piece must be 110. So that means that all 6 pieces is, all 5 pieces is how much altogether? Alright, so we just do 110 times 5. Get the answer. It says, question 6 says increase this by 15%. So that means that 360, you're going to add a 15% of 360. 15%, pretty hard to work with, so let's change it into a fraction. That's 15 over 100. Of means times 360 is 360 over 1. Let's cross out the 0, 1 from the bottom, 1 from the top. We can do that because this is multiply. Now, so yeah, can we simplify anything? Yes, we can. Okay, I can look at this. I got a 15 and a 10. I can divide these two by 5, so this will be a 2, this will be a 3. And also the 2 and 36, I can simplify that further. I can divide them both by 2, so I'll divide this by 2, I get 1. Divide this by 2, I get 18. So really, the question now becomes 3 times 18 over 1 times 1. 3 times 18, what's this? This is 3 times 8 is 24. 54 over 1. So really, if you add 15%, you're going to add, so the question really becomes 360 from here to here. Plus with 15%, which we worked out to be 54. 54 over 1 is just 54. So add up, get the answer. Okay. Next page. In a hall, 45% of the students were boys and the remaining 990 students were girls. How many students were in the hall? Okay. So let me see. 45%. So imagine 45%. Let's change it into a fraction. 45%. So that's 45 over 100. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. No, let's not do it this way. Let's see. 45% is boys. Is this the boys? Which means that 55% are the girls. %55 are girls, and how many girls are there? There are 990 students as that were girls. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, why don't we divide it by let's say 11. Let's divide it by 11 and divide this by 11. If I divide 55 by 11, I get 5%. And if I divide 990 divided by 11, I'll get what is it? 990? Yep. Okay, so 5% is going to give you 90 students. So we want to get to, what was the question asking? How many students were in the hall? That means what's the total number of students? So if 5% of all the students is 90 people, what's 100%? How do we get from a 5% to 100%? Well, we're going to multiply by 20, which means I multiply this by 20. You can do it this way as well. Maybe this way is easier. Alright, do that one. Question number 8. In a hall, there are 660 more girls than boys. So 20% of the students were boys. How many girls were there in the hall? Oh, now this is a very tricky question. It doesn't. You have to actually try and picture this. Okay, let's look at 20%. Let's do this one first. Let's change this one into a fraction. 20 over 100. Cross out the 0. That's 2 over 10, which is 1 over 5. So 20% of the students were boys. That's 1/5. So imagine you have, this is a diagram here. Now let's do this into 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they're not exactly equal, but imagine that they were equal. Okay, I didn't draw it exactly. So it says that 20% are boys. So these are all the boys. And then these must be the girls. Now, in a hall there were 660 more girls than boys. Okay. So, if you line the boys and the girls up together, right? Let me just show you what this means. So imagine I take these boys and I put it right here. So let me show you what this means. So imagine if I did this. This is the boys. Now remember that each box is the same amount of people, okay? So let's move that over there. As you can see, it says there are 660 more girls than boys. That means that this amount is how much more girls there are than boys, and this is 660. All right. So 660. Let's divide 660 divided by 3, because we know that it takes 3 boxes to make 660. So let's see what one box is going to be worth. So 660 divided by 3, you will get 220. So each of these, let me put this in maybe in green. Each of these boxes is 220 people. Okay. How many girls were there in the hall? Well, if you want to know how many girls, add them all up. This is all the girls here, right? 220 plus 220 plus 220 plus 220, or 220 times it by 4, work out the answer. Okay, next one. In a hall, 40% of the students were boys. If there were 632 boys, how many students were there? Okay. So 40%, if you work it out, 40 over 100, that's 4 over 10, which is 2 over 5. So 2/5 of all the people were boys. Okay, so let me see. Or actually, I'll do two methods. I'll do the diagram method, and I'll do the okay. So 40% is 2/5, so 2/5 is this much, and these are all the boys. And it says there are 632 boys. So we want to know how much. Now we know that each box contains the same amount of people. Okay, so I'm going to do 632 divided by 2. So actually, let me just do that properly. So each one of these boxes will have 316 people. How many pupils were there in the hall? All of these 5 boxes is how many people all together. So if you want to know how many people were there in the hall, 316 times 5. Okay. Another way you can do it is you can see, okay, well, we know that 2/5 of the people are boys. So 2/5, there are how many people in 2/5? There are 632 people. Alright, let's find out. We need to get 5/5. We want to know how much all together. So let's go from 2/5 to 1/5. So divided by 2 will give you 1/5. 1/5 will be 316. And to get to 5/5, we must multiply by 5. So you multiply this by 5. Same thing. That's another way you can think about it. Question 10. Toy cars is $24. How much will it cost after a 20% discount? Okay, so the toy car is equal to $24. Now you're gonna take away 20% because there's a 20% discount. 20% of $24. You can do it this way, or you can think about it this way. If something take away 20%, how much percent left you got? Imagine if a toy car, this is your 100%, right? And you're going to take away 20%. So how much percent do you have left? That means the car is only worth 80% left, right? So that means we just have to find 80%. Find 80% of the $24. 80% is, what's 80%? 80 over 100, that's 8 over 10, which is 4 over 5. So find out what 4/5 of $24 and you get the answer. Question 11. Toy car costs 32% after a 20% discount. What's the original price of the toy car? So we know that this price is already being reduced by 20%. Alright, so what's happened here is we have so this is how much it used to cost, this whole thing. The question is asking what's the original price of the toy. This whole thing, the 5 pieces here is the price of the original car, original price. Now this is how much it's worth now, only 80%, because we just did a 20% discount. So this is 20%. So that means there's 80% left, right? So if 80% of the car costs $32, the question is how much was it worth when it was 100%, when it was original price? That's the question. So we can't go from 80 to 100 straight away, so let's go from 80 to 20%. So how do we go from 80 to 20%? We divide it by 4, which means we divide this by 4. So 32 divided by 4 will give me $8. Now let's go to 100%. 20% to 100% is times 5. So you can times it by 5 here as well and get the answer. Question 12. If Alan had bought a figurine at a discount of 10%, he would pay $30 less. So 10% discount is your $30 is your discount of $30. So that means 10% is your $30. How much would he pay if he had bought it at a discount of 25%? Okay, so we want to know how much money is 25%. We know that 10% is $36, but how much money is 25%? Okay, so we can't go from 10 to 25 really easily. So how about we just go from 10 to 5%? From 10 to 5 we divide it by 2, so we divide this by 2 and we get 15. And then from 5 to 25 we times it by 5, so we times this by 5 and we get the same thing. We get the answer in dollars, in terms of dollars there. Okay, next page. My cricket batting average is 26 runs for 5 matches. If I score 128 runs in my 6th match, what is my new batting average? So, let me see. You got 5 cricket batting runs. Okay. When you divide it by 5, you'll get 26. Because it says the average is 26 and this is your average for 5 matches, which means that we have to add all of the score for the 5 matches and divide it by 5 and give you the average. So that's why I wrote that. Now we know, so before we continue with this question, let's try and figure out how much this is worth, the total up here. So what we do is we say, okay, something divided by, this is called the total. Okay, the total from the top number. So let me rewrite that. So total divided by 5 is equal to 26. Right? So we got that, I mean that's what's happening here. You got 5 numbers add together which gives you some total number and then you divide it by 5. Total divided by 5 is equal to 26. So how do you work out the total? You work backwards. So here's what we do. We say, okay, what if I do 5 times 26? I want to know what the total is. So we do so the total is equal to 5 times 26, which is 130. So that means that this total must be 130, because 130 divided by 5 will give you 26. Right. So now it says, if I score 128 runs in my 6th match, what is my new batting average? So that means that, so here's what's happening. Okay, so if he scores another 126 runs, so now he's got 6 runs. So what's his new average? So that means we have to do these 5 runs add together. Okay, then we plus with the 6th run, and then we divide it by 6 because now there are 6 runs to find a new average. So first of all, to find the new average, we must have this top number. What's the total of the top number now? The total is changed. It used to be 130, but now we have the new score here. Oops. You have the 130 plus with the new score 128. So really you have 130 plus 128 divided by 6 and you get the new average. So do work on that one. Question 14. Carl practices for the 100-meter sprint and records the following time in seconds. what is his average time in to 2 decimal place? So to find the average, we add them all up. So 9.8. Let's some of these have 3 digits after the decimal, so let's put in some zeros here. Okay, plus with this next one is 10.1, so 10.1 looks like this. Next one 10.01, so 10.01 looks like this. And then 9.98, 9.98 like that. And the last one 9.995. So when you add them, make sure that you put them in the right correct column. The decimal place has to line up. Okay, so now we add them up. So this will be 5. The first one number will be 5. The second one will be a 18. This will be 9, 10. 10 plus 9 is 19, plus another 9 is 28. And then you got 18, 27 plus this is 29, and you got 4. Okay, decimal place goes right here. So that means you got 49.885, and then we divide it by how many numbers are there? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You divide it by 5. So in this case, we do long division. Actually, I'll do that long division. Work it out and get your answer. Okay, next question. The average of 6 numbers is 19. So we know that 6 numbers add together. As you can see, that I represented numbers with shapes. So imagine you got 6 different numbers. Different shape just means different numbers. So I mean, they might be the same, but most likely they're different. So the average of 6 numbers is you add the 6 different numbers and then divide by 6, and you get an average of 19. The 7th number is added, and the new average is 20. So before we do anything, let's find out what the total of these 6 numbers are. To do that, we say 6 times 19. 6 times 20 is 6 times 20 is 120. So 6 times 19 should be 114. So this is 114. Okay, so the total of all the top number is going to be 114. And now we're going to add a 7th number, which means that the average is going to change. So we're going to add a new number. Let's do this shape there. And now, because there are 7 numbers, we have to divide by 7. And it says when you add a new number, a 7th number, the new average is 20. So the new average is now 20. Okay, so here we have a total. Actually, I'm just going to use this one. So you got 114. Look at the top number. You got 114 plus with this new number, which we don't know, divided by 7 is equal to 20. So what must the total of this new number be? Well, let's do 7 times 20. 7 times 20 is 140. Because 140 divided by 7 is 20, right? So we know that 114 plus with this new number is equal to 140. That's for the top part. So can you work out what the new number is? This is 7th number. And the question is asking you, what is the 7th number? So work it out. So we have 114 plus something. The 7th number equals to 140. Can you work out what that number is? Next question. Let me just rub this out. It's a bit... actually, I'll just leave it like this. Okay, this one says 1 is being divided by the second fraction. So this really is just 1 over 1. Now when you divide it by 2, you're timesing it by 1 over 2. When you're divided by 3, you're timesing it by 1 over 3. When you're dividing it by 4, you times it by 1 over 4. And again, divided by 4 times 1 over 4. Okay, so let's stop for here for now. So let's see what happens here. Let me rewrite this one as 1 So the top one is just 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, so that's just 1. Okay. Now the bottom one is 2 times 3 times 4 times 4. Okay, great. Now let's look at the last part. Okay, I need to rub this out now. Whoops, too big. Okay. Okay, so all of this translate to this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by 2 times 3 times 4. So we're going to multiply by 2 times 3 times 4, and all of these are over 1 because they're whole numbers. So really, let's multiply the top number and the bottom number, and let's write it like this: 2 times 3 times 4 divided by 2 times 3 times 4 times 4. So now we can simplify. You can divide the top and bottom number by 2 because they both have a factor of 2. Divide top number by 3, divide top number by 4. So really what you have left is, these are all 1, turns into a 1 now. So the top number is 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. The bottom number is 1 times 1 times 1 times 4, so that's 1/4. The next one says find the best approximate of this question here. So let's do approximate. That means we have to round these up to something easy to work with. So let's do, this looks like a 50 to me. This we can just make it a 10. Okay. The bottom one we can make this into a 5, and this one we can make it into a 2. So you got 50 times 10 over 5 times 2. 50 times 10 is 500. 5 times 2 is 10. So what's the answer? Next page. Okay, 0.75. Now this okay. You want to convert this one into a fraction, so this will be 75 over 100. Because when you divide 75 divided by 100, look, decimal place is here. When you divide it by 100, the decimal place jumps 2 spaces to the left, so that's 0.75. So 0.75 is the same as 75 divided by 100 as a fraction. Now simplify this. Divide the top and bottom by 25, and you will get 3 over 4. So this is 3/4. To multiply this, we gotta change this one into improper fraction. So 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 3 is 35. So that's 35 over 8. Times it by 4 over 1. Because 4 is a whole number, so it has to be over 1. So now we can just simplify. Look at the 4 and the 8. We can simplify this. Whoops. So we can cross this out and say that's 2. We divide that by 4. Oh, sorry. That should be a 1. And divide this by 4, you get 2. So really you got 35 times 1 over 2 times 1. So the answer is 35 on 2. And you can just leave it at that. Okay, next question. Let's see. 2 times... Oh. Okay, so 4 times that one. This one should be easy. You can do this one. This one, change it both into the same denominator. So this one. So imagine this one is 6 and 3 over 8. Take away 2 and let's turn this one into 8 by multiplying by 2. Multiplying by 2, you get 2 and 6 over 8. Alright. I don't know if you know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this one, just change it into improper fraction. So this one will be 6 times 8 is 48. 48 plus 3 is 51 over 8. Take away 16 plus 6. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 6 is 22 over 8. Okay. Work it out and get the answer. Now 10 to the power 4 just means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. This one is easy. The square root of 36. So what two numbers multiply to give you 36? That should be easy. Two numbers are the same, by the way. So what's, let's try. If you don't know what it is, just try. What's 3? Can it be 3? 3 times 3, does that give me 36? Nope. Try 4. 4 times 4, does that give me 36? Nope. 4 times 4 is 16. And see what two numbers multiply give you 36, and that should, and then get the answer there. This one, just add them up. Question 9, divide by. Okay, so when you divide 36, you divide it by 1.5. To do this, we must realize that 36 is a whole number. So what does it mean? Is that 36 put into a fraction form, it'll be 36 over 1. And we're dividing it by. Now, I don't like to keep this as like this. I want to turn it into improper fraction. So that'll be 3 over 2. 3 over 2. Okay, now this looks familiar, right? So 36 over 1. When you divide, this flips upside down. This becomes 2 over 3, and this turns into a times. Okay, now we can simplify. Look at the 3 and the 36. I can divide them both by 3. This will be 1, and this will be 12. So really, the question is just 2 times 12 over 1 times 1. 2 times 12 is 24. 1 times 1 is 1. The answer is just 24. Any number over 1 is just it can be written as a whole number. So the answer is 24 for that one. Question 10. The cost price of a jumper is $14.74 and the selling price is $21.25. How much profit on the sale of 9 jumpers? Let me see. How much profit? Okay, let's find the profit of 1 jumper. So that means that we do 21.25 take away 14.74. Find the profit for 1 jumper, and then we times it by 9. So whatever answer you get here, times it by 9 and get the total profit for 9 jumpers. Okay, 7/8 of a day. So imagine if you have a day, how many hours is that? Let me get rid of this actually. So imagine if you have a day, it has 24 hours, right? And you want 7/8 of that. So divided by 8 and you get 3 hours. Now we need to times it by 7 to get 7/8 and then get the hour there. Question 12. Water is dripping from a tap at the rate of 25 milliliters per hour. How long will it take for 1 liter of water to be lost? Let me see. So 25 milliliters per hour. So how long will it take for 1? Okay, so 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. So what we'll do is we take 1 liter, we divide it by we change it to a milliliters, and we divide it by 25 milliliters. Now I know that 100 divided by 25 is 4. 1,000 divided by 25 must be 40. So it's going to take you 40 hours. Okay, because every 25 milliliters takes 1 hour. It's going to take you 40 lots of 25 milliliters. So it's going to take you 40 hours. Next question. What is the value of 5? Okay. The value of the 5 is 1 over 100th. This is 1 over 10, so 1/10. So 2, the value of 2 is 1/10. The value of 5 is the second one, so it's 1 over 100th. The perimeter of a rectangle is 15 centimeters. Its length is twice that of the width. So you can use guess and check for that one. Okay, so you have I'm just drawing it for you. So imagine if this length is double of the width. So imagine we have, let's call this x. This will be 2x. I don't know if I will have to use algebra. Probably shouldn't use algebra at this age. All right. Okay, let me think. How do I? Okay, imagine if you have 1 part for the width and 2 parts for the length. So, how many parts altogether are there in this rectangle? Okay, So you got 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, 4 part, 5 part, 6 parts. And altogether, the rectangle has a perimeter of 15 centimeters. So 15 divided by 6 parts. So let's put it into a fraction. 15 divided by 6. Oops. Alright, let's simplify this. So 15, let's divide this by 3 and divide this by 3. So this will be 5 over 2. Okay, so 5 over 2. 5 divided by 2 is going to give you 2.5. 2.5, what is it, centimeters? Yes, centimeters. So each part here is 2.5 centimeters. So I'm just going to rub this out and write 2.5 centimeters. This will be 2.5, oops, 2.5 plus 2.5 will give me 5. This is another 2.5 and this is 5. Okay. And if you add them all up, you will indeed get 15 centimeters. Okay, next one. Write as a decimal the sum of... Okay, so 9 is a whole number. 5 over 10. You see how it's over 10? So that means that it's going to be 0.5. Now, since this one's over 100, it's going to be 0.06. So really, the question is 9 plus 0.5 plus 0.06. And then you can get the answer. How many days in one? So 0.4 of a year. 0.4 is just 40 over 100, which can be simplified to 4 over 10, which simplifies to 2 over 5. So 2/5 of a year. A year has how many? I don't know. Fifth. Okay. Do you want how many days? Okay. So we need to find 2/5 of a year. A year has 365 days. So just do that. Just take 365 divided by 5 and then times it by 2 and you'll get the answer. Question 17. A water tank measures so and so high, 2 meters long, 1 meter wide. What is the capacity? To find the capacity, we need to find the volume. Volume equals the length times width times height, so that's 3.5. 3.5 is same as 3.5 times 2 times by 1. Now 2 times 3.5 is 7. 7 times 1 is just 7. So this is 7 meters cubed. Convert it to capacity. Capacity, we want it in milliliters and liters. Now we know that 1 meter cube is equal to 1,000 liters. So 7 meter cube must be 7,000 liters. So there you go. You got it in liters. Done. Question 18. Find the cost of 7 shirts at... Okay, just times it. Question 19. Falls of rain of 26.4. Okay, so were recorded. What was the average rainfall? To find the average of all these numbers, add them up. So you're going to do 26.4 plus 13.6 plus 29.3 plus 16.7. Add them all up and then divide it by how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 4. Work it out. Do long division for that one. And question 20. A ship travels 600 kilometers per day during June. How far did it travel? Okay. So in June, how many days are there in June? 30 days have September, April, June. So that means that June has 30 days. Now each day, the ship travels 600. So that means we do 600 times it by 30 days and we see how far it travels in the whole month of June. Okay, that should be it. Hope that helps.